All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with these watch-alongs. It's going to be an epic upcoming month. I'm already up to 1st of October, so new month is upon us. I know you guys are on the final day of September, most of you guys, and yeah, we kick things off. It's going to be an epic month with so many games flying left, right, and center. And we kick things off with Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. Callum Hudson-Odoi is starting. Looks like he's starting as a central attacking midfielder, which is going to be interesting to see. I think that's the position that he's now sort of getting touted to play. He obviously does prefer to play on the left side. He can definitely play on the right side, but now he's playing more as in the central area, which kind of suits his, the idea of how he gets assists. Like, he's more of an assisting kind of a player as opposed to a goal scorer. So I hope he improves his goal scoring as well, no doubt. But seems like he's more of a creator, which is fantastic. So to each and every one of you guys that's already here, smash the like button. Let's try and get to, if we can get to 100 likes by the time the match is over, that'd be great. But yeah, let me know how you guys feeling about this match. We'll have Ryan joining us very, very soon. So this is going to be interesting. Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen. I think this is the first Bundesliga match that we're doing a watch-along on for this season. I think we might have done previous seasons, but this is the first one for this season. So can't wait to see how Bayer Leverkusen plays against Bayern Munich. I just want to bring up the Bundesliga table because there is a surprise package in Bundesliga table. I think it's Union Berlin who's the... Yeah, Union Berlin are the leaders. This is what the Bundesliga looks like, ladies and gentlemen. George, good to see you. Come on, Cho. That's right. Come on, Cho. Cheering him on massively. Yeah, Union Berlin is coming first with 17 points. Dortmund coming second with 15 points. And Bayern Munich is fifth, which is incredible. Where's Leverkusen? Wow, Leverkusen's 15th, man. 5 points. They need to start winning ASAP. Yeah. I didn't know Leverkusen was in trouble. Wow, 15 points. Cool. Well, the match will start in about 7 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. This is the lineup that's taking place. The Bayern Munich lineup on the left, Leverkusen lineup on the right. Bayern Munich is starting off with Mane, Sané up front, Musiala and Müller as the two sort of attacking midfielders. Then you've got Sabitzer, Kimmich. So it's 4-2-2-2 formation. In the backline, they've got Davies, De Ligt, Upamecano, and Pavard, and the goalkeeper is Neuer. It's a very, very attacking lineup, as you can see. Mane, Sané, Musiala. Very keen to see how Musiala does as well. I think Thomas Müller, I don't think he's going to be that wide. I think he's probably going to be more in that central area, and Sané is probably going to be the one wide in that situation, I believe. Müller is probably just going to be tucking in behind Mane. That's just my belief, but we'll see how the game starts. The Bayer Leverkusen team, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Schick up front, the Czech player. Moussa Diaby on the left side, up-and-coming superstar of a winger. Even Chelsea's keen to get him. Hudson-Odoi in the middle, as you can see here. Frimpong is the guy on the right. He's been there's been a lot of hype about him as well. Andrik Demirbay, Bakar Tapsoba, he's been linked with Chelsea, so that's another one to look out for. Tar has always been hyped as well. Kasuno in the back line, and then they've got the goalkeeper Radecki. Hope I pronounced that right, man. But yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi in the middle. That's going to be an interesting thing to look out for. Match starts in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. But yeah, how you guys all feeling about this match? Chelsea fans as well. I mean, obviously a very, very keen interest on Callum Hudson-Odoi's progress. Some talks about him possibly coming back in January. I don't want that to happen, man. I honestly want him to focus on this particular loan, and I hope Chelsea don't call him back either, man. Like, let him just do the loan in Bayer Leverkusen, complete that, develop, and yeah, there's so much for him to develop as well. That's the thing. There's so much for him to develop. Um, the creativity part is 100% develop that, but it's the shooting technique, being able to take on your man 1v1. I think he's always had good ball control and good control in close sort of tight spaces. But I think it's those other facets, especially 1v1 and shooting technique is very, very important. Just going to try and sort out my stream for it. I hope Bayer Leverkusen has a good game, honestly. I'm hoping they have a good game. I hope it's not one of those games where Bayern Munich just absolutely thrashes the opposition. There we go. Got my stream sorted. Obviously, we've got now interesting news about Christopher Nkuku. So I'm going to be very keen to watch Bundesliga. Some Leipzig matches will be on the cards as well. Really need to start doing the scouting on bad boy Christopher Nkuku. Oh man, I love the Allianz Arena, man. It's such an amazing stadium. It looks so brilliant. Good to see a lot of you guys have joining in. Smash the like button. Get those likes up to 20 immediately, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a fun watch along. We get to watch Hudson-Odoi, which is going to be fantastic. Adrian, Ms., what do you think about Ismail Benassar? Was hoping or praying either him or Frankie de Jong come in the summer to help our creativity problems along with the DM. General, look, AC Milan's another team I haven't watched enough of, and I can't really make a comment on Ismail Benassar. We've got a couple of matches coming up against AC Milan in the Champions League, so I think it'll be an interesting one to see exactly how Ismail Benassar plays. And then, we definitely want to cover some more Milan matches down the track as well, and then I can give you a proper comment. In regards to Frankie de Jong, man, you know how I feel about him, and he's top player. I wish we got him, but he wants to be in Barcelona. Bobby Dazzler, interesting to see how Bayern react after 4 games without a win. Wow. Yeah, it's mad how Bayern Munich, they're 5th. You normally think they run away with it. Could Thomas Tuchel possibly line up the Bayern Munich job down the track if Nagelsmann doesn't work out? We'll see. Cho and Frimpong, watch for me. Yeah. There's a lot of hype about Frimpong as well. And the last match that I saw the highlights for, I think it was Bayer Leverkusen versus Atletico Madrid. Hudson-Odoi and Frimpong, they had good chemistry, they had good understanding. So it's going to be, you're right, man. Keen to watch that as well, 100%. This is the lineup, guys. If you haven't seen it as yet, match will start in about a minute. You got Bayer Leverkusen, Schick, Diaby, Hudson-Odoi, Frimpong, Hudson-Odoi in the middle. Very keen to see how he plays as a number 10. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Choway, oh no way. Hi, Miz. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. Pete, yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for asking. Blood, good to see you, Miz. What do you think about Cho? We'll have a stellar, Miz. Do you think Cho will have a stellar game today? I hope so, man. I really do. He's playing in a very, very, demanding position, interesting position as a number 10. You expect a lot of creativity coming from him and linking up with Frimpong, Diaby, Schick, and also the midfield. Like, he's literally the epicenter of that team. there's high expectation, man. I've got high expectation of him in this particular match. I'm not gonna lie. Frankie De Jong has not started a single game this season. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. At Barcelona, I hope he wakes up if he doesn't start soon. Seems like the match has started on the website, but I'm still waiting for the start here, man. This stadium looks amazing, man. Unbelievable. Wow. Might be wrong, but I remember a stat saying that. Yeah, I think you might be right, man. He probably hasn't started for Barcelona as yet in the league. Frimpong is apparently a Chelsea fan. Wow. There's a lot of Chelsea fans out there. As an Algerian myself, Banasar Miz can play 6 and 8, have the work rate that J5 don't have, and can be creative, but he's more a 6. Fair enough. Thanks, Ayman, for that. We do need a 6, so that's brilliant. A bad boy Ryan Gunnis in the house after a long time. Everyone say hello to Ryan, my boy. How you doing?
I'm alright, bro. Sorry about that. I was just trying to find a good stream and get my laptop up and mic. I didn't set up these things in so long, so I just took more time than I realized it would.
That's all right, brother. We've only just started. My stream hasn't started the kickoff as yet, but looks like,
Really?
yeah. Look at Bundesliga is saying they're 2 minutes in. Unless I'm like, yeah. No wonder I'm so far behind. Hold on, man. Let me sort this out.
Yeah, because I'm 1 minute and 31 seconds, and I'm watching on TV.
Yeah. No, I'm back now. For some reason, I said start from the beginning. I should have said watch live. My minute is, I'll let you know where I am. Yeah, the match has started. No wonder. I was like, what's going on? Why hasn't the match started? Um, Ryan, what do you think about the lineup, man? Callum Hudson-Odoi is the number 10, just behind the striker.
Yeah, a lot of people, German fans, well, I guess Leverkusen fans were saying he looks better centrally. So I'm interested to see that because I never saw that as an option, and um, goes again to say maybe it. I never saw that as an option. I always thought of him as a wide winger on the left hand side. So
Yeah, I always saw him as a wide winger, either on the left hand side. I thought definitely he can play on the right, not preferred, but this position in the middle. I mean, Ryan, does it somewhat make sense that he's more of a creative type of a player? Even when he plays in the wing, he looks for those crosses as opposed to a scoring type of a player. Like, would you say he's more of a creative player than a scoring player?
I mean, I always said about Hudson-Odoi is that like,
Oh,
um,
it's goal. Bayern Munich 1-0.
yeah, I saw that about 45 seconds ago, but I didn't want to like spoil it for.
Oh, thank you. Oh my days. This is. I was just praying, hope that Bayern Munich doesn't absolutely rip them apart. And that, Ryan, that was so open, man.
Yeah.
One defender beaten by Sane. He goes into the byline, whips it in, and was that Musiala?
Yeah.
That's way too open, man. This is why I can't take Bundesliga sometimes seriously, Ryan. I know you like it. There is a lot of um, strategy and a lot of technical. What's the word that I'm looking for? Tactics. That's it. Oh man, thoughts on that goal, Ryan? Man, that was way too open for me.
No, it was good. It was good. I think it just happened so quickly. Like I didn't even, you know what I mean? It just happened so quickly. Like, first movement of the game. But yeah, as on Hudson-Odoi, like I would say I always said from before is that one thing I really liked about Hudson-Odoi as a winger is that whenever he beat his man or wherever, he would always raise his head up for that horizontal pass or vertical pass or cross. I think that's a lot. That's kind of like in contrast to Pulisic, who would be more dribble focused. So even after he would beat his man, his head would be down and it wouldn't be too aware of what's going on in front until it's a second too late. So that's why I was always impressed with Hudson-Odoi, but I always felt that he needs to go somewhere to get that burst of pace back but maybe having him centrally would negate the need for having that burst of pace really back, you know?
True, true. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Ryan. I think I was saying just before the stream started that there are a few things that I would like him to develop. Obviously, the shooting technique. I still think even as a creator, you need to be able to score goals from that position. The shooting technique needs to be better. But I was more sort of focused that if you're going to be a winger, you definitely need to be good 1v1. But
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Maybe in that central position, he doesn't necessarily need to be. I mean, if he could beat players, that's fantastic. But you don't necessarily need to do
No,
that, I
I think in
suppose.
number 10 positions, what we see with Hudson-Odoi, right, from the wing, what he's really good at despite injury is operating on the turn, back toward player, operating on the turn. And where he really struggles is using that pace when he's facing a defender, right? I think in number 10 positions in those pockets, I mean, just like how you see Loftus Cheek turning a lot of times, obviously not to that extent of power, but we could probably see Hudson-Odoi develop that, where he used that
Interesting.
technique he always had on the wing to turn and operate in pockets, because when he turns, his head is always up, which is a good sign from a 10. I
Yeah,
think for Leverkusen's manager to suss that out such early days is
that's pretty
something that,
incredible.
yeah,
Yeah. He, you know what, Ryan? He's been saying it in the press conference as well that, yeah, he can definitely play out wide, but I feel he's capable of giving something through the middle.
and
So
listen, this isn't, they have nothing owed to Hudson-Odoi because it's already given that Bowley wants him back. So
exactly,
for them to
exactly.
play him there, it's not because they're trying to fit him in, it's because they really see him as someone who could help the team from that position. So yeah, I'm excited to see how his journey develops here, because wherever his journey starts, it will continue at Chelsea, hopefully. And I would be
Hopefully.
happy to see that.
No, same man. Hopefully he has a stupendous season at Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen's they're in trouble a little bit. They're 15th in the table, so not too far away from the relegation zone at all.
Yeah.
So it'll be a great story if Callum Hudson-Odoi is able
Yo,
to help out.
why are all our loanies so cursed with wherever they go? They're always in a relegation
Oh
battle,
man.
like Gilmore, Ampadu, Hudson-Odoi. You have any other ones like in your mind? I think
Conor
Gallagher is probably the only
Gallagher for
guy.
West Brom. Gallagher West Brom,
Yeah,
isn't
yes,
he?
yes. I think Gallagher is the only one who was blessed with like a nice someone above mid-table, Crystal
Yeah.
Palace. Like all our guys going there and just struggling it out, bro. Like
We need to find them a good one, but at least look, I'm just glad that Callum Hudson-Odoi is starting regularly. They
I
believe in him
think
a lot.
I think what I say about this loan is kind of like Loftus Cheek's Fulham loan. It's like, yeah, maybe he skillful wise, he didn't improve much, Loftus Cheek, but what he really got was confidence in his body. Because I
Yeah.
remember Loftus Cheek in Chelsea days, he was saying when Lampard was there before he got loaned out, he didn't feel confidence in his body. He didn't have his pace. He didn't have anything in that. And when he came back under Tuchel, he physically was really good. I mean, there's a lot of things with Loftus Cheek's final vision, pass, release point, etc. that I'm not happy with. But from a physical point of view, I'd say Loftus is just as good as he was before injury. And that's something that we need to aim at with Hudson-Odoi.
No, well said, man. Absolutely well said. Hopefully, he comes back very confident. A couple of people have been saying they love the Bayern Munich kit. I'm liking it as well, man. They've got a stunning kit, man. Um, I'm thinking about getting a Bundesliga, a particular team that I want to follow. Ryan, who do you follow? Before I sort of give you my thoughts on who I would like to follow or who I've watched a lot of previously. Who's your team from Bundesliga, my man?
Honestly, if you'd asked me this about Syria, I would have named out so much managers and stuff for you. But with Bundesliga, I just like to see German style of football. Not because I feel like despite manager, they have a certain style. I
Yeah.
see German style is zonal marking, whether it's in midfield defense or in press, zonal. Whereas Syria is more man marking. which one do I prefer? I prefer man marking, but just
Yeah.
zonal marking, you can learn so much from it. And so I would say I just love the German philosophy of football.
Fair enough. So you pretty much like every team in Bundesliga
Yeah, I just
because of the
really
way they
like to
play.
see
Yeah.
how they operate. But obviously, if I want to enjoy a match, I would probably watch a Bayern match because
They
best
play
team.
lovely football. They play lovely
Even though
football.
they're not first on the table, though, they like what, fifth or fourth or something.
Yeah, Union Berlin. I had the table up a moment ago. Union Berlin are first at the moment. I don't know what they're doing there, who they've got, but they're doing well. Dortmund second, Freiburg, Hoffenheim, Bayern Munich fifth, which is incredible. They're 5 points behind, so it's not huge, but yeah, that's the case. That's gone on there. But with me, Ryan, when I was a lot younger, I'm talking about sort of mid 2000s onward, when I was sort of watching a bit of Bundesliga, more specifically in Champions League or in Europa League, whoever would be there. I used to watch a lot of Dortmund back in the days. So I don't know, man. Like I don't have any affiliation, but I feel like I want to start following a team. And do it properly. So I'm not really sure whether I want to take up. I did like Werder Bremen at one point as well because they used to have Miroslav Klose. As you know, like I follow Germany in international level. They used to have Miroslav Klose, Torsten Fringes, I think his name was.
Yeah.
They used to have Mesut Ozil, Werder Bremen.
I think with support and team in Bundesliga, it's so hard to predict. Like other than Bayern's and Dortmund's spot, like there's like about 6 teams that one season
Oh,
they're
here comes
second.
Hudson-Odoi. Oh.
From there, I would like to see him shoot. Have confidence in that
Yeah.
right foot.
See, that was a shooting opportunity, Ryan, wasn't it? Where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Go on, bro.
yeah,
You were saying.
I would like it's so hard to predict with German teams because one season that team would come second and eight, like Frankfurt, for example. They do well, then they come eight the next season. Then so yeah, Nkuku, during the summer I had this conspiracy theory that we are gonna get Nkuku this summer, and I sent it to the group chats and Miz and everybody. Listen, Nkuku, I think he would be. The thing is, before I'd always analyze Chelsea under the lens of Tuchel. So it's so tough for me to analyze now because I haven't studied Potter, unfortunately, for all people who kindly ask me and look forward for my tactics. I haven't studied him yet. So because I haven't studied him because Chelsea's a whole new ball game, right? It's a different philosophy of football, meaning that you're expected to have 80% of possession at Chelsea, right? Even though it was a possession-based team at Brighton, he wasn't expected that. So it's hard for me to extrapolate Brighton tactics and say that's going to be Chelsea. So yeah, and Nkunku now, sorry for going off. And Nkunku, I would say that he will be a perfect player for us. He can play anywhere in the front three positions, even wing back. But honestly, I see him as that number 9, someone who could replace Aubameyang. I see him as that number 9 who could play horizontally. But then again, I'm not quite aware of what Potter likes from his number 9s. But it's weird because this actually happened in the summer before Tuchel was sacked. So there's all this dealings here. So
I feel like Ryan, because I did a stream earlier today on that particular news. I like him; he's a good player, but I was just looking at his heat map from last season, the entire Bundesliga season, and also this season. He spends a lot of time on that left side and sort of then maybe hone in on that central area. But the heat map on that left side was heavy, barely anything on the right side.
kind of like Timo.
Kind of like Timo, yeah. And I was sort of saying to everyone, kind of gives me the vibes that he's probably an inside forward, maybe someone just behind a striker.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he, as you said, number 9. I don't know whether he's going to be cut out to be a out and out number 9 in the Premier League. And some of the goals that I've seen, some of the clips of his goals from last season, oh my God, so Timo-esque, so Timo-esque.
Yeah.
And look, the one thing I will say though, his ball control is far
Yeah.
better. Like his close control with the ball, his ability to play in those, when he's pressed or he's in tight spaces is much better than Timo. Timo seems like the ball can be dislodged off him very very easily. That's the one thing that I've seen. Okay, that's a positive. I'm just worried, man. You're not going to see all that space in the Premier League, and him playing on that left side, I've got no issues if Sterling moves on the right, and he sort of plays on the left. He could potentially play in the middle as well. Maybe he can play as where Havertz is playing lately, just behind the one game under Potter, just behind the
You see how
striker.
Gabriel Jesus plays as a striker?
Yes, yes,
That's the kind
that's
of
probably
idea
the
I have
right.
with
Yep,
Nkunku.
yep. Bang on.
Because I see him operating on turn, I see him releasing that pass, and I see him scoring goals. But the thing is, I don't see him as a winger, pure winger, because listen, I can't say that because for many of his career he played wing back and wide winger as football, right? But I would say he flourished as an inside forward, scoring goals as a striker and stuff. Yeah, so I think having him versatile is yes, but I would say from an attribute point of view, you said he's technically very good on the ball, could operate in tight spaces, good football and IQ, etc. So yeah, but I would like more Leao-esque winger. Someone who could take on 2-3 players at once, stay
Yes.
very wide, be up and down, hit, sending crosses like a Vinicius, etc. Because I feel like that frees up so much players. When you have one player who could do all of that, it frees
That's
up your fullback to do what he wants. Your number 10 could do what he wants. You could just have more freedom on the pitch. Unlike our current wingers who don't have the ability to take on 2-3 players at once, what you do is that freedom is lost. Now your number 10 has to come and support, your fullback has to come and support, even Kovacic has to come and support. And now it lacks that unpredictability and freedom. So another goal coming in here, by the way.
I'm already looking at that live score. This Jamal Musiala, man, he's something. I tweeted the other day off the back of watching Germany. He was absolutely tearing England a new one. This guy, man, unbelievable superstar he's turning out to be. I'm going to watch the goal very soon. Long ball, straight down to Musiala. Oh, Ryan.
I know the defending, man, is awful, eh?
What about that goalkeeping, bro? Did the keeper, did it just go under him or something?
He was kind of like his body was set for far post, and then he had to dive near post. But that's what I don't like about Bundesliga defending per se, is because it's so zonal marking-ish that it's so easy to lose your man. In Syria, that would never happen. You're always on your man.
You don't let a goal in from there. Look at that, Ryan, bro. Nah. Have a look at the highlight. Oh my god.
Miz, if you want a team from Italy though, you know who I love, who I fall in love with? Atalanta.
They're good, huh? They're good.
Everybody would think Atalanta, oh yeah, crazy attack, all out attack in FIFA, like 10-man attacking. But what really impressed me most about Atalanta is the defense. It's how they defend, it's how they man mark, how they press, their organization, how they attack. I just love that team. I love their manager. I wouldn't say I love their club or whatever, but I love their manager.
Gasperini, the manager?
Yeah, Gasperini, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wish I was
top of the
a student
table,
of the game.
right? Atalanta's top of the table.
Yeah. Like, and they had a really bad transfer window too. So it just goes to show that they have a plan each game and they do that plan to the best of their ability, and they win from it. And that is an Italian manager, bro. I'm so sorry I was not a student of the game like for years before, because I wish I could follow Gasperini for like 4 years back. Like how good his tactics is, man. Amazing.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of positive talk about Atlanta, and And especially Serie A, like at least the issue is, right, not many Serie A players make that transition to Premier League, if any, to be honest. But I feel like they would adapt. I feel like Serie A players would actually be fairly good in the Premier League. You know, defending wise, they're very, very astute. Tactical wise, they're very smart. Yeah, man. Atalanta. You know who my team is? Since I was a little kid, I remember I followed that one season. Well, started following from that particular season. Juan Sebastian Veron used to be in that team. Sinise Mihalovic was in that team. Rocket left foot, free kicks. There was a lot more people. I think down the track they used to have Claudio Lopez, Gesca Mendieta. I'm talking about Lazio, ladies and gentlemen. The season that they ended up winning the Serie A long time ago.
A long time ago in Bethlehem, bro.
Yeah, when Juan Sebastian Veron.
That's why we should all press the like button, subscribe to the other side of the coin, you know?
Come on.
Because he knows his stuff.
That Lazio team was oof. It was during a time where Roma was dominating during that time. And obviously the rivalry between Lazio and Roma, crazy. Francesco Totti era, and you know, Lazio did a madness and won the Serie A. And then off the back of that, a lot of their players moved on. Veron got that big money move to Man United, and I think Gaisca Mendieta ended up going somewhere as well. I can't remember exactly where, but he ended up going somewhere. No, sorry, Mendieta came from Valencia to Lazio, I think, something like that. But yeah, anyway, nonetheless.
The person commented, when is the Mason Mount truth bomb?
Yeah. Mason Mount hater. Firstly, thank you for the super chat. When is the next Mason truth bomb? Look, I'm not looking out for Mason truth bombs. You know, we have to be honest. When he does play well, we got to give him his props. When he doesn't, we'll say it how it is. I think some minutes off the bench will be good for him.
I think whatever my Mason Mount commentary is going to be put on a hold until after the season finish. I just want to see the trajectory because I believe in his qualities, but then there's some qualities that I think that he really just needs to improve on. And I will not put a full stop on my judgment of him because it would be stupid to do that for a 23-year-old. So I'm just curious to see trajectory, but with that curiosity is hope that this guy could become the player that all people want to see him become. Chelsea fans want to see him become. And same thing for Kai. Like, I'm just like tired being angry if we can't change it. No, like, yeah, if we could have changed it, transfer window, yeah. But like in October to cry about it, no. But I would just say this season, I just want to see the trajectory because even if they don't become the end product this season, which is unrealistic, if they could go on that pathway and they are on the pathway and they take a few steps, I'll be happy with that and I will be welcoming it with open arms and positivity.
100%. Ryan, how good is Leroy Sané playing, man? I just saw that burst of pace.
Really good. And it's crazy how they were willing to let go of this guy for 60 mil.
Bro, why didn't we just go in on him, man?
But I don't think they will let go of him anymore because he's like one of the best players this season.
Yeah. I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, 23 minutes gone. Well, nearly 24 for me. Not seen too much of Callum as yet. But then again, Munich are the ones that are.
What do you think about Broja, bro?
I like him, man. I like him. I think he could be a bit of a unknown, that unknown factor for us that out of the box, you know, could turn out to be something amazing. From the little bits and pieces, Ryan, that I've seen him come off the bench, he's always eager to, like, there's something always happening when he's around. Like, especially the last match, the first match under Graham Potter against Salzburg, that burst that he did, how Kepa released him for that counter, showed a lot of pace, linked up with Sterling, that whipped in that cross. He should have got that assist, man. Zia should have finished that. But even
Because
against West Ham, Ryan, when he came on, like, he was creating a bit of havoc. Do you know what I mean?
because I was thinking about Nkuku as striker, but I was just always thinking, wow, like, yeah, that type of striker is good, but it always limits you tactically, you know? And I was just thinking, man, I wish we could have had a striker like Vlahovic, you know, someone who on the counter attack, he has that pace, he could run in behind, and he could play in tight spaces, be that target man against low blocks. And I was thinking, wait, we have Vlahovic in our team, not as proven with amount of goals scored, of course, but someone with those qualities and raw materials in Broja. And I was thinking, man, like, I just wish he could have gotten his loan out to AC Milan or something, because I really think he's on the cusp of a 20-goal season.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll get regular game time enough at Chelsea for it to happen, with Chelsea's pressure and the media's view on him and the fan pressure on him to do that.
He's got a 5-year contract, Ryan. Like, he just signed a new 5-year contract. So you'd
I was
think
thinking
Chelsea has to use him.
Vlahovic, one big season, and he's a completely different confidence, different player. You know, I just think that Broja, man, in Syria,
I think
I
he'd
really
kill it
love
as
Syria. I really
Yeah.
love Syria. If you haven't noticed that by now, you know,
I
I
think
love
it's quite
Syria.
evident.
I love Syria so much because your man marks so heavily that your individual skill has to show through.
No, you're right, man. You're right.
And
Oh, look how open it is. Oh, my days. Bro. Ryan, just to switch the conversation a little bit, we've been linked recently with a couple of these Bayer Leverkusen defenders, Tapsoba and Tar. But I don't want to blame them. It seems like the structure in midfield for Leverkusen is just too easy to just pass around them and then get into those pockets of spaces. Maybe it's got to do with the Leverkusen manager, and maybe this is probably one of the reasons why they are 15th or 17th, whatever the case is. I mean, Ryan, would you be looking at any of these defenders like Tapsoba, Tar?
listen, I haven't watched much of them. All I know is what, like, their reputation, right? Which is very good. Not sure about Tar too much, but I know Tapsoba's reputation is huge for his age. I think Tar is a bit older. Am I right?
Yeah, he's a bit older. Yeah,
Yeah.
still,
So
I think in the young. Let me
for
have a look.
Tapsoba, I don't know. So the thing is with
26. It's 26.
I wouldn't judge too much from this game because honestly, you could see how open it is, but I could talk about Syria and man marking how much, but look at the pace at which Bayern Munich is moving that ball from side
So
to side
fast.
to
So
vertically to this and that. It's like so hard to keep up. Even if you try to man mark, like, how do you keep up? They're always on the move. No players taking to the position, always making the right passing angles. It's just so hard to keep up with. I can't really judge any defense or any defender against Bayern Munich too much, other than from their 1v1 duels, because I mean the awareness you have to trace those players and know when to step out, when to stay in, when to tackle. It's just so tough. I remember this is going at like 120 miles per hour for these defenders, right? It's
True.
We've seen it on TV, but imagine in real time, man. Like,
No, it's quick, real time, bro. I remember watching live matches. Man, it's a lot quicker than what you see in TV.
because I know you say with Premier League there's no space, right? What I think about Premier League, I don't see teams playing like this in Premier League except for Man City or Liverpool, right?
True.
Like Bayern Munich. The way they move the ball like that. What I would say the Premier League is like a table tennis match. It's like a table tennis match. And I think it's hard for foreign players to adapt to that pace because other leagues allow you to get back into your structure. It's like chess, structure versus structure, and see who wins. Oh no, in Premier League, yeah, you don't get that time to go back into your structure. It's more like wherever the ball is.
Basketball game, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, we're gonna pick up that ball and go. We don't care if our winger isn't in place or if our defender or striker is out of position. We picking up the ball and we're going forward, and if we lose it, the other team gonna take up the ball and go forward.
Go for it again, yeah.
And that's the difference between the Prem and other teams. I mean, other leagues. About Palace tomorrow, we're playing Palace, right?
Yeah, we're playing Palace tomorrow, man.
Listen, I'm not pessimistic or optimistic. I'm curious. I just want to see. I want to learn. Just like how when Tuchel came, I just wanted to learn, and that's why I could have done all those long videos and stuff. I'm just more of a curious eye, not an emotional eye too much. Or I just want to learn about this manager and what he's trying to do with these players, and I think it's a really fun thing to experience, really.
No, I agree with you, man. I'm going to do the preview straight after this game, and I don't know what to expect. All I'm going to say, we need 3 points. We badly need 3 points. We can't be dwindling too much in the table.
Yes.
But
So we need to have that view on. We need to make top four if we want to make the right signings in summer or even January.
exactly, I'm worried if we fall out of top four, Ryan. I don't know whether these Nkuku kind of transfers actually will happen, even though we've done the medical and it seems like there's some sort of agreement that he's going to come in the summer. But what happens? Chelsea doesn't make it to the Champions League. Is Nkuku going to be happy with that? I don't know. And not just Nkuku, Rafael, like we, linked with him heavily as well. Is he going to be happy with that? So we need to pick up 3 points ASAP. That's a nice long ball. Neuer comes out, of course, the sweeper keeper, Neuer. But yeah, I'm not pessimistic. I'm hoping we get the victory, but I'm like Ryan as well. Like, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what Graham Potter is capable of doing. Do you guys think Musiala could ever think of returning at Chelsea? I would love it. I mean, doesn't he fit the profile of what Bowley has doing?
There's
in
a
terms of
dying
young
breed of
players?
number 10s, man, and world football. There's a dying breed of players who could be so comfortable in the pockets, and just to see that he have a goal scoring touch, like, I know the perfect number 10 not only operates in the pockets, but they know how to get in behind. And that sounds weird, but yeah,
Get in behind.
yeah, not only around the pockets, but get in the behind. But
Get
like,
in the behind.
the thing is, I think he's just a dying breed of number 10, man. I think he should stay Bayern as long as possible. I don't want him to leave too early, because I know the pressure of the Prem could destroy a player, man.
He's only 19 as well. There's no
Yeah,
rush.
like, I think that there's even less pressure playing for Real Madrid and Barca and Bayern Munich than to play in the Premier League because of the media.
No, you're right,
Does
man.
that
The
make sense?
media. No, it makes complete sense. You
Like
know
for
what's going to
Camavinga
happen.
and Tchouaméni, like they got in there and they adapted, and
And no
now,
one's writing articles at all. Ancelotti's benching them, or
yeah,
obviously
exactly.
Sherman is not getting benched, but Camavinga is someone who's slowly getting eased to, and no one's pressuring them. But can you imagine if Camavinga was playing for Chelsea? Oh,
And all the
every
comps that
time,
be made of him, and it just be too
yeah,
much, man, too much. So
too much.
same thing with Bellingham
A
too. I,
shot,
I I really don't want him to. You saw that shot?
yeah, from Sabitzer.
Oh no, I'm on Diaby just hit that shot. I was like, did Miss get one that's on my level? But nah, you're still a minute behind. But Callum Hobson put in a good through ball there, though. You should watch that whenever it comes up.
Let me check this out. Here we go. Callum now with the ball. Callum, oh, that's a lovely through ball.
So
But
maybe
yeah, I
he's
mean,
on to something as a number 10. But same thing I
yeah,
was saying with Bellingham, though, is like, I don't know if I want him to come Premier League so early. I don't want it to be like, I think that
I completely get it. I completely understand. But I have a feeling, Ryan, Jude Bellingham is that this is it. This is the last season. He will be moving, and
I want him to
I
go
don't
Real
know whether
Madrid.
we.
I want him to replace Cruz.
Can you imagine? So many Camavinga, Jude Bellingham. That's illegal. Like, how have they? And they could possibly do that. I think recently there was an article out that he wants to go to Real Madrid. Maybe
I think he should go, man. He should go. But I think
I
our
can
next
picture him
thing
at Man City, man. I really can.
thing is, like, Real Madrid has to realize that maybe buying the best young players, they might need some like experience too, because like Benzema will be there next season, Modric will be there next season, but other than that, like they have a pretty young team.
Very young team. Even their forward pack, Vinicius is what, less than 25. Rodrigo is probably not that old either. Um, Valverde is young as well.
What I like though is that the youngsters have the Real Madrid identity in them already. Like
Yeah.
Vinicius have that winning mentality.
Yep.
Valverde has
Yep.
that winning, never say die mentality.
Yep.
And then they also have Modric and Benzema to guide them on. Rudiger has that mentality, even though he's now arrived. Alaba has that.
You're right, man. You're right. They're players that they've got in, and the youngsters that they're developing. They've got that DNA, don't they? They've got that Real Madrid DNA. Ram is saying, do you think Timo was the solution for our attack to be more fluid, more runs and commitment and chance creations? Look, this is what I'm going to say about Timo Werner. I don't think he's a look. There is flaws. You know, his ball control is crazy at times. Sometimes his decision making is a bit too much. I think he's more of a he's finishing. He feels like he wants to be like an instinctive player. He struggles when there's too much time to think about what he has to do and make the right decision. He likes the match to go in an aggressive pace so that the decision is instinctive, so that he doesn't have to think about it, which is perfect in the Bundesliga sense of things. But having said that, if we had a system, much like the Lukaku situation, if we had a system that was more accommodating towards the skill set or the characteristics of our attackers, we probably could have got something out of them. Like Timo Werner, we should know that he likes space behind the opposition defense. Now, why not, as opposed to aggressively pressing, help back a little bit? You invite the opposition in, much like I remember Ryan was talking about how Inter Milan under Antonio Conte, they never pressed from the front. They had a mid block. They allowed the team to come to them, and then they wanted to win the ball and counter. You got to lure the team in sometimes to counter. If you box them in, well, that's a different style. That's what Man City does. They want to box you in, suffocate you.
I would say it's 11 versus 11. Somewhere on the pitch, you're going to try to get... So the way you make a team attack in a different direction is to get numerical advantage in a certain place. Right?
Where's that shot from? Yeah, go on, bro.
So you get numerical position in a certain place, which will force the ball to our next place, right? So I always say it's 11 versus 11. So you have to make sure if you get numerical advantage in one place, you have to be free with some player being free in the opposition. I always say that free player has to be on the opposite side of the pitch for the switch, meaning that everybody else in close proximity is man-marked fully. So, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't even remember what topic we was talking about. Actually, I just heard you talking about like defending, and I just wanted to add that. Like, what we talking about?
Timo Werner.
Yeah, I just heard you talking about like defending, another goal coming out here. And so I was like, let me just add what I love about defending. And in my mind, I was thinking, okay, how do I wrap up this point? Because I'm not sure what point I'm trying to make.
We're talking about Timo Werner. How I feel like if we had a system that was more accommodating towards some of our attackers, then we get a lot more out of it. Mane in the middle, and it's 3-0 for Sadio Mane. What is this, bro? What is this, man? Nah, honestly, I have to be absolutely honest about some of this defending here. I can't say Bayern Munich really engineered any of these goals. It's just one thing I will say, though, what Ryan said earlier. Bayern Munich are moving the ball very quick. They're moving around very quick. So maybe that's too difficult for Bayer Leverkusen to handle. But look at the players dropping off Mane as soon as Mane got the ball. And then Mane was, and I guess you could say that maybe they were trying to cover other areas and other players. But look at the space and time, and it was a scuff shot from Mane as well. Like, this is incredible, man. Ryan, thoughts on that goal, bro? Left foot finish.
I say Bayern is playing really well, but there's some things that Leverkusen, when it comes down to the 1v1s, defensively
Oh,
just isn't there. Yeah.
this is, ladies and gentlemen, after 41 minutes, 3-0.
So I was talking to somebody, right,
Mm,
about Chelsea. It was like this Juventus fan, right? And she really wants Jorginho at Juventus, right? And she
mm,
was not a big fan of Tuchel's system because she found that it didn't suit the players, right?
yeah.
And she found that the three at the back doesn't suit Jorginho at all. And a lot of people in Chelsea fan base, including me, thought that yeah, defensively, that's one of the reasons we use three at the back, right? To
Mm,
help
mm,
Jorginho. But her argument was like, with Jorginho now, Thiago Silva in possession acts as a register
yeah.
with that three at the back. And
Yeah.
that forces Jorginho to play with his back toward defender. So
Correct.
most of the times, she
Correct.
said in Napoli and in Italy,
Yep.
for
Yep.
the national team, Jorginho receives the ball with his body facing toward goal, and
Correct.
that would allow him to have most progressive passes. If you watch who has most progressive passes at Chelsea, is Thiago Silva,
Yeah.
and that
100%.
could be because he's our regista. And
Mm.
I was shell shocked because I never really thought about that. And the thing
I
is,
yeah. Go on. Go on.
headers,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
The thing is, I know you could argue, well, Jorginho could go between the other centre backs, right?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, that would force and pin down Kovacic as the lone regista. And then if our number 10s can't drop in as central midfielders, well,
Mm.
then it separates defense and attack. So what would happen is that Jorginho would be with his back toward goal, and Kova would be like that number 8, right? But
Mm.
what I realized, you watched PSG play the other day, right?
Mm. Mm.
You realize that PSG back 3 is really a back 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ramos acts as a right back, really, and the two centre backs is Kimpembe and Marquinhos, which allows Verratti to play as a regista.
Yeah.
And that's something I think that maybe Tuchel could have done to allow Jorginho to play as that regista better. I know you can't argue about Tuchel because Jorginho had his best season under Tuchel, Ballon d'Or
Mm.
nominee. But like honestly, like it really opened my eyes a lot to why the Italian game might suit Jorginho more. And
Do you know what? I had this angle being said to me under Sari when Sari was our manager. I remember I was on Twitter and I was like, at that time, obviously, Jorginho was a new player, and I wasn't really excited about what I was seeing with Jorginho and what Sari was doing, and I was getting a bit annoyed. And I opted for a different formation. I said, why don't we just go to a 4-2-3-1? Have a double pivot, and then go back to the way we used to play. With the likes of Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba and all of those players when they used to play for us, and having that classic 4-2-3-1, and we did well. And this one guy came to me and goes, mate, you've got no idea about how Jorginho, like you don't get the best out of Jorginho when he plays in a pivot. You get the best out of
yeah,
Jorginho
they hated that.
when
Yeah,
they hated that. They hated how we Chelsea fans, we couldn't understand the 4-3-3 with a register, like the deep lying playmaker. And this particular person was trying to explain to me, don't look at Jorginho as a defensive midfielder. He ain't a defender. He's a deep lying playmaker. And he was saying it's the eights that are the defenders. They're box to box. They have more defensive duties as opposed to Jorginho. And that's when I had to think about football in a next level way. Like, because I used to think, Ryan, you're the deepest player. So
yeah. You
surely
need to
you're
clean
gonna
everything up.
be yeah, you're gonna be someone who's gonna be defensively quite astute in that position. But the Italians and Lazio during that time were like, no,
Napoli.
Napoli. Um, Jorginho is not really there. His role is not his predominant role is not to defend for the team there. His predominant role is to be a deep lying playmaker.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, in a double pivot, it doesn't work because, as you said, he needs to be the guy who runs the show. One needs to be the guy in between the defenders and not have his back against the opposition players. He needs to be the guy looking at the field further up and
Kind of like
initiating
what
the play.
Xabi Alonso used to do.
Correct. He needs to initiate the situation.
And listen, Jorginho isn't bad defensively either. He's really good, but it's when it comes to
No.
covering too much ground is where he's bad, because in his zone he makes good interceptions and stuff like that. But yeah, you're definitely right.
And you know, a lot of people, they get angry that, oh, why can't he defend in from those areas? And I think this is what we need to appreciate, being football fans, is that we really need to understand players, and we need to understand why this player is getting deployed in a particular situation. Far too many times, Ryan, we expect a player to do things that they're not capable of doing. And then we forget, why has the manager actually asked them to play in that position? Do you know what I'm trying to say, Ryan? Like, we need to understand the psyche behind why a manager is asking a particular player to play a certain role. Like, for example, why did Thomas Tuchel ask Callum Hudson-Odoi to play as a wing back? It's not for the flaws, the things that he doesn't have as a wing back, more of the qualities that he could bring playing as a wing back. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, glass not half empty, but more looking at a half full sort of situation.
Yeah.
And then this is the thing with Jorginho. People complain too much about off the ball. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. My man, that is not why he's getting selected for. He's getting selected for to be dictating games with the ball.
I think the thing with Jorginho, I think that Jorginho, you need to give him a man to mark, right? So, for example, obviously the striker would be around one of the centre backs, right? So maybe the number 10 or the winger or whatever, because you can't have Jorginho sitting in front of the defenders, having nobody to mark, and then whoever receives the ball, now he has to run and try to close them down wide or wherever, and run 20 meters to do it. Because you always see Jorginho get outpaced in there, right? He would run up and then he'd get beaten and he have to run back. Or sometimes he'd slip and fall and everybody would laugh. I think is why it was so better for him in Syria is that he had a job. This one guy is your man to mark. Why? Because we're using a man marking philosophy. So all the other guys already have their man. This is your man. Whether he goes up as a number 8, a winger, wherever, this is your man. And I think that in Premier League is more zonal. It's more where you say, okay, DM sits in front the CBs. And whoever attacks that zone, from left to right, from sideline to sideline, you have to run there as the DM. And that's something that Jorginho struggles with. And but anyways, Miz, I'm going to take a little bathroom break before the new half comes back. No Ishan here, unfortunately.
He's probably gone to bed or something like that.
But I'll be back in like a couple minutes, right?
Yeah, go for it. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, halftime here in Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, 3-0. I have to say, man, some of this defending, I know Bayern's moving the ball around very quickly. Their movement is very, very quick as well. But this is the thing. Like, I don't want to categorize all of these Bundesliga players into one sort of generalized area. Like, there are players, good players that could potentially do very well in the Premier League. And but you know, from a defender's point of view, like some of these defending, like Tapsoba has been linked with us. Tar has been linked with us previously. If you can't handle, and I know the pace that Bayern Munich are moving is incredible, and you're not going to probably get that many teams that are going to move in that particular pace. But I feel like we just need to calm down with some of these Bundesliga players, man. And from an attacking standpoint as well, man, I know recently I've been very, very excited about Jamal Musiala and this, that, the other. I still think he's a very, very good player. But I think Musiala himself, if he was to come to the Premier League, I think he would probably struggle as well. So for him, maybe just stay in the Bundesliga, get that experience, get all of that know-how under your belt, and then maybe down the track, maybe when you're 25, 26, come to the Premier League. But look at Jadon Sancho. He's struggling. I know Erling Haaland's not struggling, so it isn't. This is when I've said, like, I don't want to generalize. There are players that do well, Haaland being one of them. But Leon Bailey is another one, I believe, in Aston Villa. He's not doing that well as much as they probably expected him to be. Obviously, injuries came into play. Timo Werner, obviously, we've talked about. Yeah, man, some of the goals that they've scored so far, Bayern Munich, they're just poor defending. None of them were really excellently engineered. I mean, some great passing to open up space, fair enough, but it looks crazy. Look at this stat from Schubra. By the way, Bayern had only 0.7 XG in that half, and they are 3-0 up. There you go. 0.7 XG, and they're 3-0 up. That just tells you how horrible the defending has been. In Tuchel's system, when Jorginho looked up, attackers didn't make runs. He's better on the right. He's a right winger, but it seems like he's improved from Frimpong and Kasuno, and the entrance of Cho appears to have altered the coach's tactics. Bayer Leverkusen are so bad, man. I mean, they're 15th in the table. This Leverkusen team needs a new manager. Maybe TT is the answer. No, I don't think TT is going to Leverkusen, man. And a new manager, you never know what it means for Callum Hudson-Odoi again. So I hope they're able to turn things around. That's all I'm going to say. And I hope Callum plays a big part. Callum in that particular half, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see much. But then again, Leverkusen, they don't look like they're in the game, man. There was one really decent pass to, I believe it was Frimpong or Diaby, maybe. Maybe that might have been Diaby. That was a lovely pass from Callum Hudson-Odoi from the middle. But besides that, nothing else is happening. And this isn't a fault in Callum. It's just Leverkusen is just not in the race. Miz, that is the first point about Musiala that I have actually held you for noting. I think Musiala would struggle in the Chelsea team. Thank you, my man. First point ever you have held. Much appreciated. But yeah, as much as I like Musiala, but, look, I'm more talking about Musiala from what I've seen when he plays for Germany. He looks very good, especially when they played against England. He was so good in tight spaces, man. He was so good in opening up space as well against England. But then again, it was Harry Maguire. But there were a couple of times it was Declan Rice as well. So, yeah, look, someone like Musiala would initially struggle, I believe, in the Premier League. And maybe down the track when he's a little bit more mature, he may not. But, yeah, Sancho is not showing the same levels as he showed at BVB. Don't fool yourself. 100% he's not. He's another player. And Shubra, you've been part of it in the live chat. We've done quite a few Man United watch-alongs. Sancho fails to take his man on. Like, he doesn't have that confidence to take the man on. Maybe he doesn't have that pace, that burst of pace. He scored a couple of good goals, sure, but overall he's struggling. Sancho had Ole and Ralph. Of course, he'd struggle last season. Let's see what he does for the rest of the season. This season, Callum was one of their better players. To be honest, from watching the game, I didn't see too much from Leverkusen to even say that Callum was one of their better players. I think he did a few things right here and there, but I can't really go out there and say he was their better players. The entire team hasn't been good. I think Mount, as much as I'm not a big fan, is a much better player. Imagine Mount training for a whole season and playing in the Bayern team with those players. He would probably get at least 17 goals. You know what? You probably have a point, man. With the work rate that Mason has, he would probably score a lot of goals in the Bundesliga. It doesn't really matter whether it's Bayern Munich, whether it's Dortmund, he would probably score heaps. In EPL, there's no space like Bundesliga. That's why Sancho isn't shining. I don't rate Cho that highly, but we can't really blame him for not doing much against that powerful Bayern side. And this is the thing, I'm not blaming him one bit because it's the entire team that's not doing well. So it's not just on him. Now that you're saying this about Bundesliga, FIFA and Nkuku, and this is what I said in my stream earlier on. Do you know what I mean? Like, Nkuku, as good as his stats has been, Premier League is a totally different outlook. Ryan, good to have you. Ryan, let me grab my breakfast. I'll be back in literally 30 seconds. Meanwhile, do you want to talk about this point over here? Now that you're saying this about Bundesliga, FIFA, and Nkuku, I was basically saying how open it is. Like how and I think Bayern in this match is just making it open for themselves because of how quick they're moving the ball. But it's not just that. I've seen other matches as well how open it can be defending wise. Do you want to elaborate on Nkuku, and do you have any fears of him possibly coming to Premier League, and how do you think he's going to go? I'll let you be for 30 seconds to a minute. I'll be back.
Yeah. So what I'd say is that people always ask that question, the fear of him coming to the Premier League. I would say that it's not fear of him coming to the Premier League per se, it's a fear of him adjusting to the game of Chelsea, 80% possession team, tight spaces against low block. When I watch it from what he did at PSG and moments of the game, meaning that, listen, Leipzig, don't play against low blocks all the time, but in the phases of the game they do, he operates in those tiny spaces really well. He makes the right passes, he finishes good, etc. What I would say though is that a lot of people worry about the openness of Bundesliga. I would say that this match isn't really open. A lot of people talk about space, etc. You would see that Leverkusen is defending in a mid to low block, really. So the spaces are not there. It's just how good Bayern Munich is really moving that ball. But I think it's what I really respect about Bundesliga is that I would say that League One is closest to Premier League due to how physical it is, right? I would say that take out physique and physicality, out of the closest thing to the tennis ball nature of the Premier League, the back and forth nature, is the speed of Bundesliga. I would say the speed of Bundesliga, the speed of how you have to operate when you're pressed from that front line, that midline, is something that is near equivalency to the Premier League. So I would say that the speed of press that Nkuku has to deal with and how he deals with that in tight spaces and stuff, I think it'll translate really well to the Premier League, both from how he does it when he's facing the press and how he does it applying a press. But yeah, as I say, in the phases of the game where he faces a low block, I think he's really good in tight spaces. But as I said, I want to see Potter's philosophy, and I want to see where he would fit into that, because I'm not quite sure where he would fit into that.
Yeah, and this is the thing. And is he even like? I mean, here's the other question that I want to ask you as well, Ryan, and to the live chat. I sort of talked about this in my stream earlier on as well. I thought we could get a new manager and their backroom staff, and he's brought in a head of recruitment from Brighton, that they're going to have some sort of say in who they bring into the football club, and they'll do their research, data crunching. Not to say that they haven't been doing it now. Maybe they have for Nkunku, and maybe they like him. But Is this the kind of player that Potter wants? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything. Not that I don't know anything about Potter. Like, I have some sort of idea about him. With the players that he had in Brighton, Trossard and um, McAllister and Saicedo. Is Trossard someone similaristic in style, skill set with Nkuku? Maybe not. It's probably what Ryan said. Gabriel Jesus is probably someone more, in that factor. But Ryan, does Potter have any say in any of this, or does Tom Bolly just go, do you know what, I liked him from the get-go and he's going to be a Chelsea player?
I think initially it could be like that because we haven't gotten a director of football, new manager. It would seem like that, but I don't think we should extrapolate too much. Let's see how that process goes about in January and this summer. Big up Advid for sure. But I just want to say that with Nkuku, maybe I would see him in that number 10 role, to be honest, if we were using a 3-3-1-3, because that number 10 acts as a shadow striker mostly, because with that 3-man midfield, you already have 2 attacking 8s, right? So you don't really need that number 10 to stay in the pockets too much. So that's why I think Havertz would be really good as that number 10, because he isn't pinned down like a number 10. He can go anywhere he wants as a shadow striker. Most of the time in that one match against Zagreb, was it? No, that was with Salzburg, right? With Salzburg, you saw that most of them it looked like attacking too. It looked like a striking duo of Aubameyang and Havertz, because as a number 10, he could go there. So I'm just really interested to see. But then again, I wouldn't get too carried away about this Nkuku thing because it isn't completed. We know the way of the world of football. Who knows? Next thing Real Madrid comes in January, and he's more attracted to Real Madrid. So you never know. Because I think a lot of clubs are going to go in for him in January.
Bro, his release clause is like £53 million. It's very minimal.
Bargain.
Yeah, it's minimal. And I'd be surprised if no other clubs go after him. There's some rumors coming out that Liverpool were apparently interested in him before Darwin Nunez. So you'd probably think they're going to be after him with Roberto Firmino's contract coming to an end, and I don't know if they're going to give him a contract extension. Real Madrid with Benzema situation, how many more years does Benzema have? PSG are always there and thereabouts. But I did read somewhere that Luis Campos is not the biggest fan of Nkunku. I could be wrong there. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that it's only Chelsea in the race here. No one else is going to come in.
Yeah, well, it seems as though like Bowley wants to be really hands-on. So I don't know. It's like I wouldn't be surprised we're going for Ronaldo again, to be honest with you.
I think that boat has sailed because he's already played in Europa. Apparently, he can't play in the Champions League.
Oh, okay. But honestly, I just don't want to make too much conclusions about what's going on now because they're still setting the foundation. So I think they're trying their best to do what they could do. Imagine if they didn't do anything. How at least they're doing something. I mean, Nkunku, Fofana, the kind of signings we got with no director of football, and
it's pretty impressive. Are you liking the fact how open all of this stuff are? Like, Ryan, like I feel like we've screwed up so much being so open. Rafinha,
yeah, well, I don't like that Nkuku thing coming open because look how much club's gonna say, well, Chelsea already has this, let's go in, we need to go in now, talk to his agents.
Yeah, and look what happened when we went for that director of football, Christoph Freund, and how open that was. And Salzburg did not appreciate that one bit. And
I like how Man City does this stuff. Like they will be in the race for 1 week and then sign and finish the next week.
Bruh, it's done. They're not messing about.
Or even Bayern Munich sign in the race 1 week, win the race next week. And we kind of guy that sign up for the race before. We have a number from 3 months in advance for the race. And we just waiting for the race and last minute race cancel and we just look stupid.
Here we go. Is this Hudson-Odoi? Is Hudson-Odoi number 17?
Yeah.
That was a nice drive from him.
Yeah, I really like him as number 10 role though.
Mm-hmm. He was sort of on that left side and then he drifted into the middle with that run. And now he's back into the central area again. They've got to find him a lot more, though. If he's going to play central, but Bayer Leverkusen's got to get the ball to him more so that he can actually dictate the play.
Well, I think he's playing like really like Neymar. And oh my god, imagine if somebody clips this saying Hudson-Odoi is like
Someone
Neymar.
please clip. I think
What a
Callum is
waffler.
playing really like Neymar
What
from
a
PSG.
waffler. What a waffler. Now the other Neymar, the 15-year-old Brazilian who isn't playing European football.
Neymar Junior.
Yeah, Neymar Junior squared. The thing is, no, I'm just saying it just reminds me how even though he's a number 10, he's dropping into the left-hand side pockets to receive the ball. Kind of like being the third midfielder and a midfield 3, per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like how he's dropping into the pockets because he isn't staying pinned down to defender per se, like positionally a CAM, and he's on that DM. With his back toward DM, he's more like dropping into a pocket that's free because that pocket is only free for something seconds, right? So
correct.
It really comes with awareness. But I'm seeing a lot on the wing this half though. I don't know if they changed something. I know they bring.
I think they might have changed something tactically
because
it
he's
looks
on the
like
wing
he's
now.
out he's on the left side now. Maybe it's because they weren't getting much of a purchase on the left side because in the first half it was a lot of stuff coming from Diaby.
Or maybe they're going more defensive centrally too.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Callum wasn't really defending like that per se.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting. We'll see what exactly happens here. We've got Shubra saying he's clipped it. Let's go through some of these comments earlier on. What time is it now there, Miz? For me, it's 5:37 a.m. Miz, what do you think of Kudus? I've watched one of his matches so far against Liverpool, and I don't want to go over the top, but I think I will. He's a very good player, man. He looked like, I think he's going to be the next big thing for Ajax, man. They're going to get a whole heap of money for him. He's definitely going to be the next one that everyone's going to be looking out for. The way he scored that goal against Liverpool, clinical finishing. He's got good pace. He's quite decent as well. Yeah, I like the look of him, man. I do. Whether Chelsea gets him, I don't think so. But I think he's going to get a big move somewhere. That's for sure. Miss, what you eating? So it's oats, mango, banana, coconut, milk, honey, and almonds. So, yeah. Ryan, have you watched too much of Ajax's Kudus?
Nah, bro. I have not. I don't really watch Ajax and stuff too much. I know you're talking about a Champions League game though, but I'm not familiar with him at all.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I mean, I only watched one of his matches so far, so I can't. I'm no expert. One bit. Shuba remembers this. It's mayo. I remember a long time ago someone was asking me, "What are you eating?" And they thought I was eating a jar of mayo. Like, are you mad?
Miz loves his mayo.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a whole jar out.
Someone should make a YouTube channel called Mayo Miz, and it'll be a jar of mayo with a Miz face on the mayo jar, and then comment sometime, and we'll just leave that comment up there.
And Robbie's saying,
Miz. I know someone will do it. I know Shubra might do it. I know he's the guy who might do it.
You'll see someone in the live chat called Mayo Miz.
A jar of mayo with Miz face on that jar. I can even make a Twitter anytime, try to just ratio Miz every time he tweets. Just put ratio on it. Mayo
Miz. And there's mad people out there that'll just do this. And soon we'll probably see it in the live chat as well.
And you
Robbie
can put
saying,
on your bio on your Twitter, snack eating a snack. You know what I mean?
I think we lost our targets under Roman as well, but it was not public. No, of course, people lose their targets, man. But yeah,
That's a life lesson there, bro.
which one?
No, you say people lose their targets.
Yeah, there you
That's a
go.
life
Yeah,
lesson,
it's a
bro.
life lesson.
Amen.
People lose their targets, man. They do. They do. Um, we should go for Tune Koopminer from Atalanta for the DM position. I mean, Ryan would know a lot about this player. Ryan, is he all that?
Nah, I don't know any other players, to be honest. I just watched the how they set up, to be honest. But yo, I don't know. I know there's this DM from Napoli who I really like right now. He
Who they
is
got? You know the one player from Napoli that we all want,
the winger.
Kavicha,
Yeah.
bro. He is good.
Yeah, he is really good.
I think here we go. I think you're talking about this guy, Zambo Anguissa. He used to play for Fulham, man.
Hold on, let me just get him because I was going to last match or something. I don't want to say wrong name.
It just is saying Mayo Miz. That's gross, bro. It ain't Mayo.
Yeah, Anguissa. I don't know. That's really like I think tactically he does perfectly whatever Spalletti wants him to do, man. Like I just been really impressed with him.
He has been good, but I'm a bit weary about players that have played in the Premier League, and not that he hasn't. Do you know what? Because I was watching quite a bit of Fulham at that stage because Ruben Loftus-Cheek was there. Anguissa wasn't bad actually, if I'm being honest, at Fulham. So
I think
yeah.
with Syria, it's so hard like buying midfielders from there because it's like they have a certain job to do in a certain match and they know that job inside out. And if you know that job inside out, you could do it really well. Anybody. But I think with Premier League, it all comes down to it's more like, as I said, zonal again. It's like you have to know when to do things from the spur of the moment because it's a tennis ball match. It can't prepare you for certain situations.
Yeah.
So that's why I always think, yeah. But Bayern just playing through these guys, bro. I don't think
But Brian, I was just gonna say,
this
Bayern's
looks like a training game, to be honest.
Bayern's not taking them seriously, bro. This Leverkusen team, this is too much for them, bro. This is too much. Way too much.
Goal.
Oh, another one. Oh, four. Sadio Mane. Here we go. Get ready, everyone.
So Tuchel, no Tuchel in Bayern right now. Nagelsmann is won 4-0 against Leverkusen.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Tuchel should be looking at maybe Juventus.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure if he got fired, they'd probably offer him a job. But I think Juve would probably be worse than
What a
Chelsea.
finish, bro. What happened to that Leverkusen defender, man? He's just lying on the ground. But anyway.
Yeah.
4-0, 4-0. But yeah, you were saying
he got
for
Juventus.
Juventus
Like a head clash behind his head.
with a Bayern player, or
Oh yeah, that hurt. Oh yeah, with Dillit. I think Tuchel. I just want to see him go Real Madrid. I want Tuchel to hold out for a massive job.
by the way, that's offside. Sadio Mane was offside. Oh yeah, that head clash is bad. But wasn't Sadio Mane offside?
I didn't really see.
Anywho, yeah, Tuchel for Juventus. Ryan, go on.
Yeah, I think Juventus, they have so much issues to fix. I don't know if I want Tuchel to go there. I really see Tuchel as an elite. I know Juventus is an elite club, but I don't think their project right now is to it's a huge project, you know. It's tough. I think I would
Yeah.
want to see Tuchel go somewhere that like a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a top team. I personally would want to see him go Real Madrid.
I mean, Ancelotti did say that he will retire after Real Madrid. Now, question is, how many more years is he going to stay there?
Yeah,
How
I
long
just
is Tuchel going to wait? You don't want to wait too long, Ryan, because you'll become irrelevant very quick.
yeah. But Allegri is one to watch though for sure.
By the way, goal taken away.
Oh, okay.
Um, I saw someone. What about Danny Olmo? Is I think good player.
I feel like
Very good player.
so much of these players I just know them by reputation, to be honest.
Yeah. I think you're right. Me too. Just by reputation, but I don't really watch Leipzig. I want to start. I think we'll get to see Olmo as well.
How do you pronounce his name? Musiala or Musiala?
I call him Musiala.
Yeah, he's just so good, bro. Like just now you'll see, and again he receives it in pockets and he finds perfect pass, man.
You sent me that clip for when he was playing for Germany. Playing in those pockets.
Yeah, that
Here we go. There. Oh, so good, isn't he? Oh, that should have been a goal by Leroy Sané. That was
to
so
be
well
honest,
done.
I see no reason for this guy to leave. That is a perfect replacement for Muller. To be honest, like no reason at all for this guy to leave.
Nah, he
I
won't
want him to
leave.
stay.
German international as well, Ryan. Like that's perfect for him. Bayern Munich, German international.
And if ever he leaves, you're made replace like Bernardo Silva or something one day or something like that. That would be crazy, though.
He's potentially look. He's already won everything at Bayern Munich, but he's gonna continue doing that. He's going to be in the Champions League semi-finals on a regular basis, and maybe win it at times. He's going to have the best opportunity to play for Germany, playing for Bayern Munich. You know you're going to get game week in, week out. But I feel like when he's around, because he's so young, right?
Mid-20s.
19, yeah, mid-20s, he'll make a move. He'll make a move to
Yeah.
somewhere else. And I think by then he will have the maturity to play in another league. Do you know what I mean? He's most likely going to go to Real Madrid after this. I don't know whether Bayern Munich and then Chelsea is the move. As much as I love my club, I have to be realistic. I think everyone wants to go from Bayern to either Barcelona or Real.
Or Man City.
Or Man City.
Man City is one of the giants now, bro.
Yeah.
With Pep Guardiola.
Man City is a giant. And Pep Guardiola apparently signing another 3-year contract, right?
I'm happy with that, man. Like, yeah, we always talk.
I'm happy with that. Let Man City win the Premier League. Keep winning it.
No, I just like, you have one of the greatest managers of all time, man. Like, I want to see him here, you know?
Oh, bro. Callum Hudson-Odoi taking off.
Yeah. I think
that's not a good look for him, bro.
I don't understand why though, because their problem isn't attack at all. Their problem is to getting that ball from defense to midfield to attack. So,
I mean, what was he expecting from Callum? Like, did he expect him to be far more involved in midfield, playing in that number 10 role in the first half? Did he expect him to drop in and provide that extra number in midfield and put that work rate in to help out the midfielders? Like, is that what he was expecting?
Defensively, he just was losing his man. Like defensively, he was losing his man quite a lot. I find like you're seeing other players telling him where to press and where to go and stuff. Because a big thing for this team, you want to win it in midfield before it enters the pockets, right? Because that could spark counterattacks. They was keeping a narrow shape, right? So you'll see Callum defending basically the ball from the deep line players to the pockets players. but I think he wasn't pressing quite good there.
Yeah.
And that's the areas they're trying to. You see how they set up there, and kind of like a 4-1-3-2. So they're trying to counter attack. They're trying to
Yeah.
counter attack, but you need somebody, your players, to win that ball there, because you're not going to counter attack from the final third, from your final third. No, you want to counter attack from midfield before that final third. So yeah, I could understand why. And I think defensively he didn't do anything really. I haven't seen him.
It's a good point that you said that with him there defensively not doing much, Bayern was finding a lot of open space in midfield. Let's be honest, Ryan. That first half, how many times did I say, "Why does it look so open?" Like, and maybe they were honing in on the areas where perhaps Callum should be operating off the ball,
I feel like guys
and he
like
wasn't.
Kimmich and all these guys just had way too much freedom
Yeah, 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 yeah.
to rotate and find those passes into the pockets.
No, 100%, man, 100%. Shubra is sharing something. Let's have a look what he's shared. I'd like blame Musiala's Nigerian father for being hoodwinked on his travels to Stuttgart instead of finding love in Brixton. This is why your genes are not on display at Stamford Bridge, and we are hurting. Look, I tweeted the other day that I would love Todd Bowley to get Musiala. I mean, kind of fits our philosophy of getting all these youngsters. He ain't coming, man. He ain't coming.
What I
At
like
Bayern Munich,
about Bayern Munich is they give youngsters a solid framework
yeah.
to work within.
You know they wanted Cho for 14 million. Do
Yeah,
you remember that, Ryan?
because you have world-class players you're surrounded with, so it's way easier for Musiala to find his foot there. You know, he has that protection. He has people who could guide him. But with us now, if we buy him, we'll expect him to be our star, to raise up our
Yeah.
other players, and
Yep.
that's what we did with Havertz too. Is like we expected this guy to come and take.
Oh,
You okay, miss?
oh man. New Year, what a save. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, that was a great save.
Kudos to you to staying quiet, man. I wouldn't be able to stay quiet like that. Kai Havertz and all that, youngsters coming in and having to lift us as opposed to going to Bayern Munich and world class players all around. Ryan, you there?
Yeah. Sorry.
You're making that point.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying that at Chelsea, we seem to bring in young players to change and improve our team, whereas they bring in young players to improve them, to improve the young players. It's like they don't bring in young players to replace their stars. They bring in young players, they mold them into stars, and then when their stars leave, and this newborn star could replace them.
Yep. They got in Musiala.
But
I
you
think.
know what, Miz? I want to say is that I know being foreign fans, right?
Yeah.
We could say a lot of things about um like English bias and stuff like that, right? In Premier League. But when you think about it, you know, each league makes stars out of their own country's players, you know? And yeah, I would just think that I could understand why so much Chelsea fans want these English players to make it, you know? But I don't know what goes wrong with many of these English players not really getting to make that step forward, you know? It's crazy because Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world. Everybody says it for the last 20 years, but the highest quality managers have been like foreign managers, right?
Yeah.
It's like where I think that's where it's off. in Bundesliga is the German managers working with German players from a young age and a German philosophy to make them stars. In Spain, Spanish managers working with Spanish players and a Spanish philosophy to make them stars. And Italy, same thing goes. But the thing is, with here, you have English managers working with English youth stars who has to come and play a foreign style of play when they get older. They have to come and play for Pep. They have to come and play for Mourinho. They have to come and play for Pochettino.
What is the English style, though? What is the English style? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the English style?
I think you know, I think recently you could say like people would want to say is road runners and thing, but when I think about the technical elegance of Wayne Rooney, a striker who could play in those number 10 pockets, who could find those long passes. Think about the passing of a Carrick, of a Lampard, of a Gerrard, of a Scholes. Think about Beckham. Think about defense of Terry, Ferdinand. These guys is like, listen, a lot of people want to bad talk England and stuff like that, but you need to forget they probably had some of the technically best players in the world. And they starred for English teams. Frank Lampard was our star. Gerrard was that star. Scholes was that star. So it's kind of like, it's how come that golden generation, it just seemed like a one-off. And it lasted 15 to 20 years. But the new generation is like, it haven't picked up.
Yeah.
Because philosophy-wise, I don't see those technical passes from any English young stars, really. I don't see that kind of skills.
Besides Foden, I'd say Foden is probably up there in terms of technical passing.
And I'm mostly talking about like midfielders, right? I'm not talking about attackers. I feel like attackers, England produced a lot of really great attackers in recent memory. Sterling, Saka now, even when Rashford
Grealish.
now burst into the scene, amazing 1v1 player. Then you have Grealish, who is a really good player, who just seems to struggle a little bit under being a wide winger. I think he needs more freedom. I think Grealish would have been the perfect inside forward for Tuchel, honestly.
He would have, yeah.
Operating on the turn, get into the pockets.
1v1.
I just think that as a wide winger, like being pinned so wide just kind of hurts Grealish's game under Pep.
No, you're right, man. You're right. Yeah, Gnabry and Goretzka coming on after 4-0. Incredible. I just wanted to share this. Shubra, once again, thank you so much for sharing this tweet. Florian Plattenberg is the one that I would take very seriously when it comes to German news, much more than Christian Folks, to be honest. News, Nkuku. We have been told that it was not a medical in order to finalize a deal with Chelsea FC, which I think we know because it wasn't the entire medical, it was the cardio and some other stuff that was completed, so not the full medical, so we know that. So that part, he's not saying anything new here. It should have taken place due to insurance reasons. I don't really get that. That must be some footballing process or something. I don't understand. Yes, Chelsea wants him in 2023, but no decision yet. No signing of a pre-contract so far, but release clause. So, has he said anything that we don't know, Mr. Florian Plattenberg? I don't think so. So I don't think he's provided anything different to what we already know. If he had come out and said that no medical was done, it's a different thing. Bayern Munich 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. 71 minutes gone. It's all too easy. I don't want to judge too much. Callum Hudson-Odoi in this particular match against Bayern Munich.
I think he did well, though.
Yes. There were a couple of passes that he did really well. There was that one pass, if you remember, Ryan, where he opened up that space for Moussa Diaby. Couple other things that he's done well, but maybe off the ball, Ryan. We've already said maybe off the ball.
I think you need to get used to that because he never defended as a 10 before, right?
No,
So
he didn't. Yeah.
many times you defend as a wide winger who would normally press front, and that's what he was doing throughout the game. He was kind of pressing as a winger would, instead of pressing like how a midfield a number 10 would. So it just things you probably need to get used to, honestly. But the thing is, like, Bayern don't have a set structure. Like, they rotate so much. They literally rotate so hard to know who is supposed to mark, what you're supposed to do. It's honestly, if you don't have a clear plan and you're hoping that those players will figure it out within the structure, I think that's a horrible idea.
Agreed, man.
I mean,
Agreed.
take it from me, a guy who managed 0 teams in his life and just watches football and with his tactical board out. I mean, where better way to get tactical advice from?
No, but you're right in the sense that someone who's not played that position, who's finding his feet from an attacking standpoint, but then you're also now telling him to know everything from a defensive standpoint, is probably a lot to ask for. But we'll see. We'll see how the season pans out. It's very early in the season. He will get more matches down the track, and this is obviously the biggest challenge, Bayern Munich. Let's see how he can slowly build himself up. Thought he had a really good game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. So we'll see what Leverkusen does in the Champions League in this coming week. And we'll see, man. Look, I hope he has a career at Chelsea, but time is of the essence as well, man. Like, how old is Callum now? I think he's 22, isn't he?
It all goes down to Chelsea, man. Like, we expect our youngsters to catapult us to a title, whereas other huge teams, realistically, they have a strong skeleton and then they bring in that one rib, that one rib bone, who is a great rib bone, but they have that structure already. Whereas us, we just complete opposite. We don't have the structure, so we need to bring in young players to be that structure. Like, we're gonna bring in Rafael Leao to be that star, but when Vinicius first came in, he didn't have to be that star.
He didn't. No. And he wasn't that good, if you remember. Like, everyone was laughing at him in that initial stage.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if Camavinga and Tchouaméni is not that star, they still have other options. They have Kroos, they have Modric, they have Valverde, people who've been there for many years. And for us now, we will buy a young player and we would expect them, please take us to close the gap to City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's what I like at Chelsea. Before, we used to have a set skeleton, right? We had even when Hazard came in, we didn't even though he had player of the year for League One and was amazing.
We didn't expect Hazard to be carrying us
to the title. We knew that we had Terry, we had Lampard, we had these Ashley Cole, we had these guys who just won the Champions League. Mata, those guys will take us, and hopefully Hazard could add. But now we would bring in Nkuku and say, hopefully Nkuku could score 35.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's too much, man. Yeah, you're right.
Even if Haaland failed, Haaland didn't come in to be the star. Haaland came if he failed, or we just go with our next attacker who we won the league with last year.
Correct.
We'll play Bernardo as a false nine.
Yeah. And Haaland knows, and even City know, that if Haaland doesn't work out, they'll just revert back to their false nine, which has won 2 Premier Leagues for them back to back. So
yeah, and just what happened with Darwin now is like they wanted him to come and fill the boots of Sane, but sometimes it don't work out.
Exactly right, man. And I said it, man, that I was saying to a lot of Liverpool fans that if you're thinking you're going to just replace Sadio Mane like that, you're having one. You're underestimating the contribution that him and not just him with in tandem with Salah, like there was a different chemistry there. And if you think Darwin Núñez just comes in and just slots in and goes on and just seamlessly does what was happening previously, then you are mistaken badly.
That's what
Um,
I feel like we need to have a mixed approach. We just can't buy all the young stars, you know. We need to get some experience, and to be honest, that's why I really like what Xavi did. Like Xavi brought in Gavi and all those guys, and these guys when he had no choice, he had no transfer windows. But when it really came push to shove, the players he brought in was experience.
yeah, Aubameyang, Lewandowski,
Marcos
yeah,
Alonso,
Marcos
Christensen,
Alonso, yeah, Christensen, you're right. Frank Kessié,
Kessie. Yeah, he brought in experience, and then around that experience, he could bring in some people. He could have Pedro Por, not Pedro Por, sorry. That's another guy. But
Alejandro Balda. You
yeah,
talking about the left
yeah,
side of the
yeah,
map?
yeah. Yeah, you could have those guys working around him and integrating themselves. Even when Pedri came in Barca, I mean, there wasn't any pressure on Pedri. They had
Correct.
all the players. They had Messi. They had everybody.
Do you know what? This is why, and I know people in the live chat, nearly 50 of you guys. First of all, smash the like button. Let's get those likes up to, where is it at the moment? 45. Let's get the likes up to at least 60, ladies and gentlemen. Push those likes up to 60. I recently said, Ryan, there has to be a good mix. A lot of people say, but Miz, it's a rebuild, it's a rebuild. Yeah, sure, it's a Chelsea rebuild, but rebuild doesn't necessarily mean let's just influx the team with youth. And I said, Ryan, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. I said, why not because I feel like Eden Hazard maybe put those injuries behind him. And his recent comments that look, it does frustrate him that he doesn't get to play when he knows he is more than capable of playing. And I was saying, someone like Eden Hazard playing in that just behind the striker role, I don't want him to be necessarily a winger anymore to beat men. I want him to be a creator for Chelsea
Number
Football
10,
Club, number 10, just
like
behind the
what,
striker.
like what Messi
Um,
does.
Yeah, like what Messi does for PSG. I don't need Eden Hazard to be out wide to be 1v1 burst of pace. No, be
No,
smart, find those passes, be very good in tight spaces and turn and turn your defenders. I think Hazard still has that.
turn and release, turn and
Turn
release.
and release, turn and release, turn and release, and Hazard has the shooting ability as well. So if he has the opportunity to take a shot just outside the box or inside the box in those central areas, you best
Yeah,
believe he's
and
probably going
people
to
would say,
score.
"Oh, if we do that, we'll just go back to our old ways, and we need to look forward." But I'm just saying that you could get experience, and not necessarily only Hazard, but you can get experience and youth at the same time.
100%. You know how many people slandered me saying, "Oh, this guy being sentimental. Oh, this guy he can't forget his ex." Like, first of all, I'm married and I've got a kid. Like, yeah, it's not even about the ex. Uh, and
You had to put that on record.
I had to put that on record. And then I was saying
Mrs.
to people,
X.
yeah, I had to sort of tell people that I'm not saying give Hazard a 5-year contract. Do you know what I mean? Like Hazard can still be part of the rebuild for the next couple of years. He may not see the ultimate goal, the ultimate vision of the rebuild. We might have disposed of him by then, but it's still very important to have experience throughout the rebuild, or else you will always be in a rebuild, much like what Arsenal were doing, youngsters after youngsters after youngsters, and they were leaving. Do you know what I mean? Samir Nasri, if you remember. Cesc Fabregas, when he was young, he left. And many more that they left, the Arsenal had like that. And they were constantly rebuilding, constantly rebuilding. You just don't want to go through that. And I feel like, here we go. Tony's here. Good to see. Obviously, you need someone to have an opposing view, so it's good. Creates good discussion. No way Eden is done. Belgian fans are complaining about him. See, look, this is the thing. Like, Eden is done. I'm not asking for the same Eden that he was for us when he was at Chelsea. I'm not asking for that Eden. That Eden we'll never see again. I'm talking about a specific role, a specific need, and I feel like he can do that. I think where fans sometimes get a bit clouded, Ryan, and to the live chat as well. When you refer a particular player, they think about him at his peak and what he was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not going to get that, and I don't want that. I'm talking about one particular need, and the one need right now for us is that creative sense in that midfield. We lack that.
Kind of
I
like
feel,
what Messi does for PSG.
yeah, is Messi of the yesteryears at Barcelona, dribbling from left, dribbling from right, cutting in, cutting out? No, Messi's more central, link up with Neymar and
Drops
Mbappe.
into a free pocket and finds that pass. But
Yeah. Hasn't Messi refurbished his play? Like, hasn't he rediscovered himself as well? That's what I'm asking for. But yeah, go on, right?
no, I agree. I agree with you, but not only the Hazard sentiment, because I'm still up in the air on what he could do and how his body would hold up, etc. But I agree with needing experience along with youth. But that's a tricky one now because so a lot of people would say that's why I really love getting Sterling. That was perfect signing. Get someone into the prime. That's why I was thinking about Kimpembe and Skriniar because I would say these people hitting 27, entering the prime. Skriniar
Yeah.
is captain of his national team. Like this is a player who would do good for our rebuild. And then people was commenting and telling me, well, Fofana is only 21 or whatever. I
Yeah.
said, it's not about that. It's about mixing the youth signings with, wow, Messi, you're going to see this
Yeah.
goal. It's so funny.
4-0 now. I can see it
But,
in the scoreline.
but yeah, it's about mixing, it's creating a skeleton for that youth player to flourish in.
No,
You
you're
can't make
right,
the
man.
youth player the skeleton. And that's why, even like with Leao, it's like, I know Leao does it on his own in Syria a lot, but that's not even true. Because on our left, I know you say. People will say that. I
Wow,
know.
that's
Maybe Mendy isn't that
man.
bad.
This Leverkusen keeper,
Yeah,
brother.
he's like doing that Carlos Dragon keeping from that
Oh my
Sidemen
god.
game. No,
Oh
but
my. Yeah, that's Iron game. What's his name? What was his name? Dragon, something
Carlos
Dragon.
Dragon or something.
He was so bad. Bro, there was a shot that was right at him and he was trying to kick it. uh, anyways,
Man got
yeah.
that Carlos Dragon training in.
Yeah. Someone please make that compilation of this guy and Carlos Dragon.
Wait, you say Carlos Dragon?
Is it Carlos or what is it?
No, Carl the
Oh, Carl
Dragon.
Dragon. Carl the Dragon. Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
Carlos Dragon.
No, Carlos Dragon. It's somebody else, probably a wrestler from Mexico or something. A lucha libre or something.
Carl the
Carlos
Dragon.
Dragon.
Carl the Dragon. What a bad goalkeeper he was. But anyway, yeah, you were saying about experience. Yes,
That's why I really
100%.
like that Sterling signing. I was trying to say is like getting people like that. That's why I think that it had to be a mixture. It has to be a mixture. I know Bowley seems so high on getting young players and who knows selling them for profit and stuff like that, but you have to realize that you don't want to make the same mistake we made with getting so much young players in all at once. But we didn't even make that mistake because Timo was a big man and Ziyech was a big man. So it was only Havertz who was young, really. Thiago Silva was a big man. Mendy, big man. It's only Chilwell and Havertz are young.
No, you're right, man. And you know, the other factor is okay, fine. Let's get the youth. Let's do a project with the youth. How patient are you willing to be, Chelsea fans? Because you cannot expect youth to just come in and start winning titles and whatnot. So you got to give them a bit of time. And then that's one thing. Time. How much time are you willing to give them? The other factor is when you have given them time and some of them start to look good and they're not winning stuff, they're probably going to start looking elsewhere.
I think with youth players, it's all about raw materials. That's why you say, okay, I want to give this one time because I see what raw materials to have. And even though we're cooking this beans in a slow cooker, we know it'll be really good in the end. But then if we're cooking this thing in a slow cooker and we know this thing rotten, we know this thing doesn't have any potential, it wouldn't go with rice.
Correct.
It's like no, I said rice. Oh my god.
I love how you just dropped that out of nowhere. It caught me off guard.
Nah, I didn't even mean that, to be honest. I was talking about beans and rice, but because that's Caribbean in me. But like, yeah, what I was saying is that it's all about raw materials, right? I think Pulisic is somebody who had raw materials when he was younger, and he lost it due to injuries. Carl Hudson, not Carl the Dragon, had that raw materials too. So it's all about finding players with that raw materials, and I think we should be good. That's the thing is like with Havertz now is like we using them in positions that his raw materials doesn't suit, and that's the thing. I always thought Havertz is someone who could find that final pass, who's good in link up. So I always saw him as an attacking 8, kind of like a Draxler, who would float in the final third.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's all about that, I guess, with young players. But then again, you don't build a project around young players. I think that's absurd. Think about the best projects in the world. It's not only young players.
It's not, man.
When Messi came in, he had Ronaldinho.
Yeah. Yeah, he had Eto'o as well, an experienced Eto'o.
So
it's and also I think when he was there midway through, there was David Villa as well, a very experienced David Villa. But yeah, it's a very good point. When Messi came in, Ronaldinho was there. Tony Tone is saying you can't be complaining about Kante injuries and want to sign Hazard. See, we have to understand the different injuries here. Kante has been picking up a whole heap of bits and pieces over the last few seasons. With Hazard, there was one specific issue that just kept on reoccurring, and the correct...
he needed a certain surgery.
Yeah, he needed...
And they were putting off that surgery and putting off that surgery.
Correct. And then they eventually put in that plate in his ankle, which was severely uncomfortable for him to play with. Finally, that plate has come out, and now he's looking better. If he was to pick up more injuries along this season, and different types of injuries I'm talking about, not just that one, I'm talking about like hamstring or abductor, like Kante's had not the one same type of injury. He's had, they almost scored the 5th one. Kante's had several different types of injuries, man. It's a totally different thing. His body is falling apart.
Match done.
Is it full time? Oh yeah, final.
Yeah.
Mine's just going for another minute, but I don't know. Look. The point what Ryan and I are trying to say here is experience. For me, I wouldn't mind getting Hazard. If it's not Hazard, I'm not going to cry. I've got no issues with it. I'm just saying let's get some experience in between all of these youth players as well. Let's not try and influx that entire team with youth. Like Neymar. There was names that were floating around this summer with Neymar. I would love a Neymar.
Just saying, it just needs to have to be a good mix.
That's what I'm saying.
More Sterling type signings, or even like Cucurella. I feel like 24, 25 is good age too.
Like this is a very good shout. It's true, bro. Absolutely good shout. Like I think
that's
Dembele is going to be 26, so I would want that. But you know what? A lot of people will say about Dembele, Shubro. Have you seen his injury record? Have you seen this? He's been injury free for a year now.
Yeah, even though I think he'll stay at Barca again, though.
Yeah, he's most likely.
I think he's really happy now on the Javi.
Yeah, there is a release clause. I think it's someone said it was 100 million, 50 million to him, 50 million to Barcelona. So there is a release clause if you want to go out there and buy him for 100 million euros. I think you can potentially do that. Neymar is not a leader. Leader, please, miss. I'm not talking about leader though. So this is the thing. We can't seem to. We want everything in one player. Neymar's not a leader, so let's look at Neymar. Am I getting? Is the team needing leaders at this point? Like there is Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta still has 2 years. Reece James is, is potentially could be the future leader. Like I'm not bringing in Neymar to be the leader. I'm bringing in Neymar to create. I'm looking at needs in the team basically. Rather take punt on Madison. Yeah, Madison's a very good player.
Anyways, Miz,
I don't mind.
I might have to leave there now.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish off as well.
But anyways, Miz, it was nice being on here, bro. I really enjoyed it talking to you. Hopefully, we do more things soon again. As international
Tomorrow, if you're keen, bro, I'm gonna do a whole heap of Watchalong. I'll speak to you on WhatsApp. But yeah, I'll let you go, bro.
All right. See you, man.
Thank you for your
Thanks
time, man.
for having me. Yeah, man. Later.
Yeah, brother. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap things up very soon. Yeah, I'll take Madison. I would take Madison. Another experienced player. Like, how old is Madison? Madison, 25 turning 26. He'll be turning 26 in November. Yeah, I'll take him. The message that I'm trying to get out there is experience is needed. That's what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this watch along. 3 more likes to get to 50. If we can get to 50, that'd be great. Not the greatest game from Callum Hudson-Odoi's perspective. 4-0 thumping that they ended up getting. But I must say, man, question marks on Bundesliga. Actually, I don't want to just slam Bundesliga. Let's just keep it to Leverkusen. Leverkusen's defending was horrible, and their goalkeeper was shambolic, to be honest. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this. I will drop I don't know whether I'm going to do a preview or a news now. Maybe a preview in the morning. I'll decide on that. Maybe I'll just drop a preview in the morning. I'll do the news bit now. I'll talk a little bit about this game. Talk a little bit about some of the latest Chelsea news in regards to Nkuku and whatnot. And we'll do the preview early. Like I'll drop the preview early in the morning, UK time. So yeah, until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya.